The oldest leadership corps that exists in scouting is the commissioners. Yep, the commissioners. The commissioners were the first ones outside of the professional staff to really start the process together. Now, there is some debate as far as the commissioner staff predating the professional staff, because there were commissioners that were working with units back when we were first starting. This is like 100+ years ago. So as far as the oldest leadership corps, that's the commissioners. Commissioners are a part of council. They're like DEs, but they don't get paid. Okay, they're there, and we'll get into what they do and all that stuff. But they're the gray tabs. You can see the gray ones. I call them duct tape because duct tape has many uses. Okay, and duct tape holds things together. Okay, like commissioners. So that's that's one of the things we do. So keeping that in mind, a lot of cub masters, a lot of committee chairs that are bridging over to a troop, they leave and they get right back into the same position with that unit. That's okay, but even better than that, they have all this knowledge and experience where they can actually bring that to their unit or another unit. That's one of the nice things about the bridging process from Cub Scouts. When you're going from Cub Scouts into a Boy Scout unit, it's super, super critical. That system is very important to do correctly because we have an actual shortage of commissioners. A lot of leaders just transfer over and we never see them, and we need them so badly in the commissioner corps. Commissioners work directly with the key three of a unit and help them succeed. And they do a great number of things to help them along that process. And brand new commissioners are very rare. Most of them have gray hair, they're old, they smell funny. That's the thing about commissioners. We're not the experts on everything, okay? That's something that we teach, okay? And so many times, I would rather hit somebody that's brand new so that I don't have to break any bad habits into good habits, okay? So, getting started as a unit commissioner can be scary, but it's not. It shouldn't be. In no way, shape, or form should it be scary. I'll tell you what, it is scary. In my district, just in my district, the one I work with has 73 units, and we have 11 unit commissioners. I'm one of them. That means there's more than 6 units for each unit commissioner. It's way too many. Way too many. It's impossible to visit. It's impossible to do all of the things that a unit commissioner can do. So there is a national shortage of commissioners. If you're in a Cub Scout pack or even a troop or a crew, do you know who your commissioner is? That is a plus. But sadly, many units don't know who their unit commissioner is because they're so rare. That's the key. If we could get more commissioners committed to the scouting, the oldest commissioner group that's around, into scouting, it will definitely improve the entire program. One of the major things that we need to keep in mind is that 2/3 of scouting are Cub Scouts. 2/3. 2/3 is Cub Scouts. Now, this is just a national average. Now, with everything that's going on, that number might change, but most of it is Cub Scouting. So if you're a Cub Master, former Cub Master, and you're moving from that pack into a troop, you want to take advantage of two things. Now, this is something I did, and I'll tell you more about that, but I did both. I did both because I was told that there wasn't a shortage, and it still is a shortage right now. So we need help in the Commissioner's Corps. The number one excuse I get when I'm talking to youth leaders like you, the number one I hear is, I'm not an expert in scouting. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. It's not hard. Everything in scouting is written down. It's all written down. We don't invent the wheel. We don't have to. Okay? It's all written down. You just go through the training and you will know what to do. A lot of times, unit commissioners are there to iron out difficulties. You do that with family all the time. So you don't have to be an absolute expert in scouting to be a commissioner. Another excuse I hear is, I want to be with my youth. You can be. I did it. I was a unit commissioner, and as a unit commissioner, I was also an assistant scoutmaster for many, many years. I would go to camp. I would see my son in his troop as a patrol leader, as a senior patrol leader. I got to see all of that and experience all that, even go to summer camp as an assistant scoutmaster. And it gave me more ability to give back as a unit commissioner. So these are things that you can do. It's possible. Another excuse I get is, I don't want to be multiple membershiped. Not to worry. Scouts got you covered. All you have to have is a membership somewhere. So it could be a unit, it could be the district, it could be the council. Whatever your membership is, that's your primary. And then you can add on things like merit badge counselor or unit commissioner, okay? These are things you can add on. And you do have to watch your schedule. Now, I'm going to put a video up here, and that video will literally take you through my 5 steps on how not to get burned out on scouting. So definitely not now, later, okay? I'm going to put it up there again, don't worry. But go through that 5 steps, and that'll help you organize a little better. Now, another thing is if your unit doesn't have a unit commissioner, they are more likely to fail. And when they fail, your schedule will be totally cleared for you. Think about it. We need commissioners, and I know you'd make a good one, okay? So please make the effort. Talk to your district people, your district commissioner, even your council commissioner can get you in touch with the right people and get you started in the oldest part of scouting. Okay, now we're 100 plus. Okay, so this is big. Okay, this is very important. Please look into it. Please get into it. Now let's talk a little bit about commissioners. I was in a meeting, an online meeting, like a Zoom meeting or something like that, and someone said that they were coming up with a program called Homegrown Commissioners. Really sparked my interest. And I've often thought that this was a good idea. I'm constantly amazed by how many scout leaders have never met their unit commissioner. It's shocking. It's absolutely shocking, okay? That is one of those things that, as a scout leader, this is a thing that these commissioners are literally there to help you succeed. That's what's so cool about it. You need to know who your commissioner is. Every scout unit that's chartered has a unit commissioner that signs on the paperwork that they are your unit commissioner. Now, unfortunately, we have an extreme shortage of commissioners. Of the 120,000 scout units that are out there, we have just about 8,000 commissioners. That's a ratio of about 15 to 1. There's no way they can get around. So a lot of times the district or the council commissioner signs in place, hopefully trying to find somebody from the unit to become a commissioner, to be the commissioner for that unit. Unfortunately, a lot of times that does not work out, and they just don't have a unit commissioner, enough of them to go around. And a lot of times the unit commissioner, especially the district unit commissioner, they will actually take the unit commissioners and put them where they're needed the most. And that's, and if it's not a sign that your troop is doing poorly if your unit commissioner visits on a regular basis. I try to visit all of my units, and they're all doing just fine. Okay, some have issues, and we're working on them. So that's the wonderful thing. A lot of times they just have to. The district commissioner has to send the unit commissioners to troops that are having a problem, and that is no way. That's not the way, the scouting way. We need commissioners to be there. Now, commissioners predate the professional scouts. So the scouters that are out there, your district executive, your all the people at the scout office, commissioners came before them, long before them, okay, years, okay, and a lot of those commissioners back in that time became professional. So they predated all of that, the commissioner system, that whole system. In fact, I'm going to put a video up there, okay? Don't go there right now, but it explains a little more about all of the things that went on with early commissioners, okay? That is critical. You need to definitely check out that video. Now, commissioners, because they predated the professionals, that's a core thing in scouting. Commissioners are meant to work with the unit to help them succeed. That's really their goal. They are there to help the unit succeed. And it's incredible to me. All of that is just incredible. The devotion of the commissioner staff going out and helping units, packs, troops, crews, ships, all of them. Now, there are some commissioners that are at round table. There's usually a Cub Scout round table commissioner and a Cub Scout troop commissioner. There could be one for the venturing. There could be one for ships. So for Sea Scouts. So that's all a part of the round table. Definitely need to go to that. Need to meet with those individuals helping with that continuing training. And again, let me go to the roundtable video. You see how important that really is. Now, one of the big things that I want to stress with Homegrown Commissioner is that so many people are absolutely afraid of getting involved. They might mess up. Oh, no, that's not the case. You want to make sure that you get the adults involved. This is critical to the success of any unit. A commissioner can be homegrown. You could actually create one for your unit. And if your unit is linked, or if your unit is has a pack or a crew, that same commissioner could be used for all of those positions. And that's the wonderful thing. If you have a lot of units don't realize all the talent that they actually have. This is super critical stuff. Once you've been trained and you know the Scoutmaster or Cub Master position, you know that. You do that for a few years, and a lot of troops have term limits. They'll say that the Cub Master has to change every 5 years, or the troop might have something in their bylaws that where the adult leadership actually changes. So that could be something instead of them just going out the door with all that experience, that's the one you want to turn into a unit commissioner. They can still participate. They can go camping. That's one of the things. They can still be a part of the wonderful thing that scouting is. That's the neat thing about commissioner work. And there's no reason to have them right off into the sunset. Now, some people, they want to leave, okay? And that's fine. That's fine. But they should give a few years back as a unit commissioner, whether it be for your unit or some other unit. That is critical. We need commissioners. I'm putting it out there. If you're an adult leader that's been in your position for a long time, think about commissioner work. You can give those great life lessons to other adult leaders. You can say, hey, I've been there. I've been at camp when that happened. This is how I did it. This is how I handled it. These are things you can do. You can also, it's the connection between the unit, the district, and the council. Okay? This is the person that's in between. So a lot of times they'll have all that experience. That's the person you want as your commissioner. Now, there is another end to that, okay? And I'm all great for that. There are parents out there that have natural leadership ability. They want to do things, but unfortunately all the leadership positions are filled, except your commissioner, okay? And a lot of people say, oh, well, don't you need experience? You know, a lot of times it may not be that it's a matter of training them. It's a matter of getting them involved, getting them trained, but not breaking bad habits. That might be something you might have from somebody with a ton of experience. So there's a lot of pros and cons to that, okay? And I'm sure that you're going to put them in the comments, okay? But there's a lot of that stuff going on, and I want you to really think about growing your own unit's commissioner. Now, if you have a commissioner, I want you to definitely let them know, okay, that you appreciate their help. You appreciate them. Have something for them to work on. Okay, it could be something to do with recharter. It could be something to do with recruiting. It could be something to do with you name it. Okay, there's a lot of different things that can be worked on, and they can be there to help. A lot of times a commissioner will be there just to watch a meeting, just to they'll watch a meeting, and they might give a little coaching to the scoutmaster or the assistant scoutmasters. They might help out at a committee meeting. These are things that commissioners are very useful for. So definitely think about a homegrown commissioner. You can do this, and you do so much work for your unit, for the troop. It is critical that you keep that good work going. And could you imagine doing all of that work with no help? Think about that. That's really hard. A commissioner can help you. It can help you. They can guide you. So that's the wonderful thing about a unit commissioner. Look into it. Okay, you do a lot of work for your unit. Let's talk a little more about that, and by the end of this video, you should have a pretty good grasp of council, district, and commissioners and all that stuff. This question does come up, as you can see here. This person is asking about councils that are so small that they don't have a district. It's just the council, and the structure there is kind of confusing. Now, to clarify a little bit, a council is usually a very large chunk of territory. It's huge, okay? Usually several counties in a state. Now, where I live in Central Florida, we have the Central Florida Council. And then, of course, you have the Northeast councils and all the different varieties of councils. So in one state, you might have up to 5 different councils. Now the council can make a decision to divide up all of the different areas for responsibility. Now this is important to understand. Each district that they define, it has a district executive. So the scout executive, the council scout executive, has district executives that are in charge of different areas. Now normally that depends on how many units are in that area. That's the key. If you have less than the minimum to support a professional scouter to be appointed to it, they might move that area into another district, making these really large districts. So that does happen. This is scouting is a charity, so we have to be very mindful about what we spend money on as far as our professional staff. So a council can make the decision to move districts around according to their needs. And it's really important to understand that. There are some councils that are small, and because of that, they don't have enough units to really support a district executive. That's really the key there. It's extremely rare. Usually it's very remote, and the council might be bigger because of that, and the district might be enormous just to cover the right amount of units that executive would be handling. Now we often refer to the district executive as the DE. Okay, back on that acronym thing. That's a big thing, and being a district executive, and there's different levels. There's senior and there's different levels. It really depends on the district. That's the key. And then you have your field directors, could be in charge of many districts or a certain area. I mean, it really defined by your council. Your council defines all of that. Now your council is a sizable area. It's huge. And your district divided off of that. This may be invisible to most of the volunteers that are in scouting may not see that. They might think that council is it. There is a district, and it really defined by the council. So it's extremely rare. I can only think of 2 in the whole United States that don't really have the ability for district executives. They might have one, but it takes care of the entire area that they're responsible for. Now, a lot of volunteers kind of assume that that's the case, that there's just the council. That may not be the case, so you have to check into that. It would be rare. And it's important that you not assume that. There is a structure in a district within a council. So that is kind of a structure thing. And we're going to be talking mainly about unit commissioners. Now, unit commissioners, no matter what your structure is, that is the connection between your chartered organization who has that pack, troop, crew, whatever. That's the connection to the council. Okay, that commissioner is there from the district, and that person actually connects to the actual district or council. So that's very important to understand. Now, on the subject of unit commissioners can take on different roles, and it is possible to home grow your own commissioner. That is totally fine. In fact, there's a video on how to do that. That is very important. Every unit has a commissioner. It's just a matter of somebody that is with the unit, helping the unit kind of answer questions and move forward with the program. Now, the unit commissioner is there really to help and assist the adult leadership in being able to have a good program and have something there for the scouts so that they can actually move forward within their own program, whatever unit they are in. Often a unit commissioner will be at the committee meetings. That is very common. Or they might be at a unit meeting just talking with some of the adult leaders, seeing if there's any issues or questions that they need answers to. They're there to help. That's what they're there for. A lot of units try to think, oh, they're trying to spy on me. No, that's they are observing and seeing if there is issues that they can help with. That's the key. The Commissioner Corps is there for the adult leaders to have somebody connected up the ladder, per se, up that ladder to help the unit's leaders really achieve. Hey, before we go any further, I want to make sure that you are invited to come to the live meeting. The live meeting is on the first Sunday of each month at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. So please join us. Now, you're going to have to adjust for whatever time zone you're in, but please join us and join in. That's a great way to ask questions, and I'm there to answer them. Also, I want to personally thank all of the patrons on Patreon for their continued financial support. Also, if you would like to become a channel member right here on YouTube, hit the join button and go through that process. It's a great way to help fund what you see here. If you don't want to do a monthly donation, that's fine. We have a thank you button. Just hit the thank you button and make a one-time donation. That is always appreciated. And let's get right back to it. Now, one of the huge things that's out there for commissioners is your district roundtable. Now, your district roundtable is a continuation of your training. So always make every effort to attend every roundtable. Sometimes it depends on your area. Monthly is the norm. That's put it that way. In our area, we have a roundtable on the third Thursday every single month. That is the thing that a lot of roundtables will choose a day of the week and a number on that month, and that's usually how they work it. So check your local schedule. Make sure you go to roundtable. But there are commissioners there. The commissioners run the roundtable. There are dedicated team of commissioners for the roundtable. Now, one of the big one is the Cub Scout roundtable commissioner. That person is there to make sure that all of the Cub Scout packs are aware of everything that's coming up within the program. And there's a lot of stuff that's new this year and a lot of great things going on at your summer camp, wherever that might be it. There's a lot of different council camps that have different activities for Cub Scouts. So this is something that they're aware of, and all the announcements and all of those things that go on with Cub Scouts. The Cub Scout Roundtable Commissioner kind of runs all of that. And when they do breakout sessions at Roundtable, that's when the Cub Masters and the den leaders and everybody goes off and they talk about their issues, and there might be a little bit of training supplemental. Then they come back together, and a lot of times they will do an actual pack meeting. So that's kind of what the Cub Scout Commissioner does. So keep that in mind. If you want to know what's going on, Roundtable is the place. So many Scout leaders complain that they have no idea what's going on. It's because they don't go to Roundtable. That is the number one issue with being connected. Now, the other part of that is the Scouts BSA Roundtable Commissioner. Now, that is for troops, whether it be a girl troop, a boy troop, what have you. The troops actually will meet up. All of the scout masters, assistant scout masters, committee people, they will actually meet. And there's usually an agenda that they go through, an actual training that goes on. There might be an open session where they bring in a guest and ask questions. I mean, this is very important not to miss type of stuff. And a lot of troops that are disconnected don't go to roundtable. Now, there are other commissioners that could be involved. Venturing commissioners for roundtable. There could be a Sea Scout commissioner for roundtable. It depends on your council, your district, and how it's all put together. These are probably the commissioners that you see the most from a scout leader standpoint. This is adult type of training where they go and they go to roundtable and they meet up with these commissioners, and they've got all the information. They know who the connections are, who to talk to, the whole 9 yards. Very important. So keep all of that in mind when you're dealing with commissioners on that level. Now, outside of roundtable is the district commissioner. Now, the district commissioner can have assistants, so there could be those out there, but the district commissioner really works a lot with unit commissioners and the roundtable commissioners. So that's kind of their team, and that is part of that key 3 for your district. Your district would have your district chair, of course, your district commissioner, and of course your district executive. Those are the key 3 for your district. Now, this is true also when you're dealing with the council. The council, there's a council commissioner that works with all the district commissioners. So, there is a structure there. But if it's done right, you wouldn't know it's there. That's the whole thing. You have to go and connect with these. If you're an assistant scoutmaster, you might assume that there isn't a district or there isn't a council. They're just not there. It's just the unit. If you go to roundtable, that's the beginning. You're going to start seeing that connection between your chartered organization and your actual council and your district. That is so important. These individuals may have multiple units, and they're pulling in good stuff from the other units, and they can help you. That's what's so beautiful about the commissioner service. They're there for you to be helped by them. So definitely you need to know who your commissioner is or why you don't have a commissioner. That's another thing. If you don't have a commissioner, your unit is literally untethered to your district and council. There's no connection. They're independent. Scouting's not meant to be that way. It has to be supportive. Okay? What's the point of all of that without having that connection? It is so critical that you know who your commissioner is. Now, we do a lot of work for our scouts. It would be disappointing if we're not connected to helping those scouts succeed. So definitely keep up that good hard work. And if you want to find out more information about commissioner work, check out the link. And of course, like always, I'll see you on the trail.